Hello, lovebirds. This is my creative process. This might be overdoing it, but I thought I'd make it a little fun. So my creative process, it differs from time to time, but looking back at it, I think I do have somewhat of a pattern, and I get an idea. Bing. This idea might come from something that's been stored, something I've seen before, or it could be something fresh, something I see and like, oh yeah. Once this idea is planted in my head, in my heart, in my soul, and I decide to do something about it, put it in a little, what the fuck you call it? A little pot. Like this. And I let it sit there for a while. Put the lid on. So, once the idea is in the pot and it's cooking and it's I'm telling my brain that it's there and you should put a little spice on it, you should add a little something, but it's still there, it's boiling, right? Fall under like associate. Either pick something out of my Moleskine that I use, write down stuff in, go back to something I might have seen like the week before in a movie, at an art show, a conversation I had or something. So it could be anything from a whale documentary I saw and about, the whale's belly. I was writing a story about Jonah and the whale, adapting that Bible story of a recent book I've read. I finished this Finnish book about suicide. Even though when I read the book and I didn't think about, oh, I'm gonna use this, but there was something that caught my attention, and it's stored back in here. Once I have the grand idea of cooking, I can pick and choose from the Moleskine. I always write shit on my hands all the time, and see if they fit in together. Once the association step, whatever you want to call it, is done, I try to connect the dots. All these ideas, or the main idea and then the small ideas supporting that. Connecting the dots. Let's say this is the main one, right? And then I have something I read, something blah blah blah, and then see if they can somewhat, if there's a pattern to it, if there's something useful, or if once I've connected the dots and I see a whole, I see something coming out, and I see they link together, I have something that I deliberately call the fuck off stage, where I try to find opposites in my ideas, contradictions, chaos, find things that pisses me off, find maybe a social thing, or a personal thing for that matter too. And once I've done that and I feel that, okay, this is somewhat unique, this is a cool take on this, I think all great art is personal art that comes from inside, and it reveals something about who you are as a person. What I try to do is I try to make it as much Axel as possible. It's easy to sometimes drift off and write something that's like Seinfeld, that's like Breaking Bad, that's blah 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 blah, but okay, so that's all cool references, but what is Axel all about? And of course, as for any project, I mean, depending on what it is, there's a bit of research involved. Research actually, when I'm working on it, when I'm writing it, I'm researching at the same time. It's not like, okay, let's go to the library for 2 weeks and read every fucking book on ancient knitting or some shit like that. It's kind of like a floating process of bits and pieces you can find here and there. Sometimes I use a big piece of paper and make a mind map, to just pretty much spill my brain out on a piece of paper. Or I would just fuck it, I don't need it. Go straight onto the computer, I know what's in here, boom boom boom, and you start fucking typing away. I mean, most of the time I think this goes for all of us, that you're gonna hit the fucking wall, right? Not maybe writer's block, but you would okay, what the fuck, where do I go from here, right? Maybe, play a little tune. Go downstairs, inhale a little bit of tobacco. That is fucking disgusting. Sometimes it's just being lazy and escaping work. You go down and you have 10 cigarettes instead of fucking writing. That happens too. After I have something that I could present, a screenplay, storyboards, mood board, or whatever, it's time for the feedback part. Luckily, I'm still in school, even though that is actually over pretty soon. I get top feedback from really good instructors and some really talented students. After the feedback, I of course go back and I make my changes, polish stuff up. Maybe something happened along the way, I saw something. But I always ask myself, can I do this? Can I shoot this? How crazy can I go here? Can I go balls out? I mean, I pretty much always go balls out, but pretty much limit yourself. And I think it's a bad thing in a way, because you can't really do the things you want to do, but I think it's a good way too, because with that limit, what you have what you have, right? And then you make the best of that. So is it worth it? Is this good enough? it's never good enough. I mean, nothing is ever good enough, in my opinion, for my own work. But is it worth putting out there? I guess that's the question. That's the last thing I ask myself, and hopefully most of the time, yeah. Thank you all for watching my creative process, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and may the Lord have mercy on all of us. See you next week.